Hello, beautiful stars, and thanks so much for tuning in. I am Astar, and welcome to 𝑓. So, in this video, I was guided to channel the star giants. And the star giants, these are actually our star ancestors. So, in many mythologies, in many stories, we are talking about the Annunaki, or those who came from the sky to the earth. And these are the giants. So these are the star beings who came to earth in prehistory, and they are basically our ancestors. They are basically the species of beings that were present on earth before human beings as we know them today were created. So if this theme is new for you, or if you have never heard about the star giants, then I'm inviting you to have an open mindset, because I personally feel it is very, very important to understand where we actually come from. Because if we don't understand where we come from, then we can also not really understand ourselves on a deeper level. So if we never learn about the giants and our star ancestors, then a part of our story is missing. And that's why I felt the call from the star giants, from our star ancestors, to record this video today. And I set the intention to introduce my audience to the star giants, to our ancestors. So I'm actually gonna dive right in, and I'm calling in our dearest star ancestors. And thank you so much for channeling through me as I set the intention to channel messages for the collective, anything we need to know about the star giants. And I'm also going to be using the Druids pile, which I thought is a very good pile to choose for these video. Messages from the star giants, anything we need to know about our star ancestors. And then I'm going to be using these. And actually there are so many stories in all the mythologies of the earth that are talking about the star giants. The thing is, they always have a different name. So in the biblical stories we are talking about the Nephilim. There are other stories about the Annunaki in the Sumerian tradition, where the word Annunaki, Anu means sky, and Ki is the earth. So Annunaki, they are those who arrived to the earth from the heavens. And they are also the Æsir in the Norse mythology. Or also in Norse mythology there is actually the realm of the frost giants, and this is Jötunn. So the Jötunns, they are the star ancestors. But I'm going to be laying the cards first. The messages already start to flood in. But let's see, messages from our star ancestors. I feel, no, more. There's definitely more messages. I'm going to lay the cards first, and then we channel messages from the star giants. All right. So let's see what we have. 7 of Swords, 8 of Wands, King of Cups, Ace of Cups, okay. So we have the Tool. Gripping Depths of Love. All right. So we are channeling the frost giants, and the first thing that comes up, if I look at the King of Cups, it is reminding me of Poseidon, and this very much resonates with the energy of Odin. So Odin or Poseidon, these are actually gods, but they represent an aspect of Source Creator. And the reason why there is so much confusion with the ancient gods and goddesses, like some people say that they are just cosmic principles, Other people say that they were physically present on Earth. The explanation of that is that they are both. So Odin and Poseidon, these are actually aspects of Source Creator. Like Odin and Poseidon, this is connected to the energy of faith, also the energy of wisdom. This is very much talking about the ocean of the unconscious. It's talking about our ability to tune into the unconscious. And it's actually through the wisdom of Odin that the runes were brought to the earth. And the runes, they are a system that help us connect with the other side of the veil. So all these magical systems, all this magical wisdom actually helps us remember our origins. And that's why in Norse mythology they came up with the tree of life, with the different realms and the different deities, also Poseidon and all the stories connected to Poseidon and Odin. They are talking about these archetypes within ourselves. And so they came up with the wisdom of the runes again, and with the wisdom of the tree of life in order to help us activate our fullest potential. But these cosmic energies, they were physically incarnating as human beings here on earth. So there was a physical Odin here on earth, or a physical Poseidon here on earth, who were teaching the mysteries of the universe. And these are actually the high priests of Atlantis, or the druids in ancient times. Like they were literally the spirit of Source Creator incarnated in a human vessel in order to transmit these teachings to humanity. And these are these giants again that were roaming the earth. But again, these giants, they are coming from a higher dimension. These giants, they are coming from, in the Norse mythology, it's called Jötunn, and this is the realm of frost giants. But the reason why we call them frost giants, it's not that they have something to do with ice in that sense, like physical ice, but the realm of ice is actually everything that is manifested and crystallized. Because we have to think of it. So water, when it's fluid, then it is the spirit ocean. Water, when it's fluid, then it's potential, then it's a waveform. But when the water then freezes into ice, then this wave of potential is starting to have a solid form. And these frost giants, or our star ancestors, they have basically, their task was to dream our reality, our realm, the human realm, into crystallization. Because they were taking the idea from the higher realms, the wave of potential from the higher realms, and with their thoughts they were structuring this realm. So they were basically dreaming the human realm into creation. And that's why in many stories the giants, they were known as the gardeners of this planet. Many stories also in the Siberian shamanic traditions, we're talking about the giants that live in the northern part of the planet. This is also talking about Siberia again. Lapland is also coming through, Norway, Sweden and Finland. And this is why there are so many similar stories in all the cultures. Again, the frost giants or the Jötunn. And these are actually, again, these star ancestors that were present on Earth before human beings were here, or before 3D was here. Because in ancient times, the vibration of the Earth was much higher. And so these giants were living in a threshold realm between the higher realms and the physical realm. And again, they have had the task to dream this reality into creation and to give shape to all the plants. So that's why they are known as the seeders and the gardeners, because they were basically designing the DNA. They had the task to almost imagine all the animals and imagine all the plants and all the flowers, imagine ourselves into being. Like, again, these star giants, they are agents of Source Creator, the spirit of Source Creator, that have been entrusted with the task to create these realms. So that's why when we say we come from our star ancestors, Actually, we come from Source, because again, as these agents of Source, the star ancestors, they have been designing this realm. And again, this happened in a time where the vibration of Earth was much higher. And then with the passing of the ages and the eons, the vibration was slowly being tuned down into solid, into physical. Slowly, slowly, the ethereal waters were being solidified. That's why we are talking about the realm of ice, solidified into a physical structured shape with the emperor. This is talking about this structuring of the DNA, of the patterns. And this is how then slowly, all these stories of the giants, they were basically created when we're talking about the Nephilims. And this is also where the story of Atlantis comes in. Because in the story of Atlantis, we are actually talking about the times when human beings were roaming the earth with these giants. But the thing is that in ancient times, like in the early days of Atlantis, the vibration of the earth was still much higher. So also we humans used to be able to tap into the higher realms. Like Atlantis was not only a physical civilization, Atlantis also existed in the higher realms. And it's again like us human beings experiencing the physical realm, but also being able to tune into the higher realms. And this is where the humans were then able to connect with the giants or the gods, actually. Like we're talking about them as gods, but the thing is, the reason why the humans called them gods was because, again, they had the task to create this earth realm. They had the task to basically seed this garden, like the Garden of Eden, basically. They were the giants who were responsible to, yes, crystallize this realm into creation. And with the fall of Atlantis, there is also the talk of the fallen angels. Like what actually happened during the Great Flood and with the Great Deluge was basically that all of humanity and the earth, the consciousness of the earth, was basically falling into 3D. And humans then no longer had access to these higher realms of the star giants. Like they were no longer able to communicate with our star ancestors. Like, and this happened with then comets coming on Earth. Like the way it happened with the Great Deluge, it's not only a physical process, but also an energetic process. But since it was an energetic process, actually, it was then reflected with physical cataclysms on Earth, with then, again, comets and all the floods and all the people then drowning in the waters. This was basically like a reset of the planet. And then since then, we are talking about the fallen angels, where then the humans, they were almost, the wings were cut and they were no longer able to communicate with our star ancestors, or we also lost our magical abilities. That's why in Atlantean times we are really talking about the wizards and about people who were living hundreds of years. And actually this is why there are so many stories of wizards that are living for 200, 300, even 900 years. It's still part of our subconscious, like it's still part of our human story. And all this information actually is stored within our DNA. And these star giants, they were responsible to store this information inside the waters. So when they were programming our DNA and programming all the ice, let's say, all the structure of this planet, they were basically seeding this higher dimensional information, and with vibrational technology they were encoding the particles of the waters, so that this information is gonna be stored in the waters of this planet. And then obviously we exist, like our physical body is mostly existing out of water, and also the water we drink, the waters of the ocean, they all hold this information. So since we drink the water, it's then possible for us to reactivate these remembrances. And that's why with the fall of Atlantis, it was like a temporary reset, or a temporary death process, in a sense of temporarily forgetting about our star origins. And then slowly, as right now the vibration of the earth is rising again, we are starting to remember our origins. And that's why right now I feel it's very important to talk about the tree of life, talking about Atlantis, talking about our ancient past, because again, if we really want to understand who we are and where we come from, then we need to take a look at prehistory and also be able to understand what these stories actually want to tell us, because we don't want to take these things literally, and we want to be able to understand them from a higher dimensional perspective. So not only looking at it from a physical perspective, but also from a spiritual perspective, because only then we can understand our truth, basically the truth of our origins and what all these deities actually want to tell us. And again, this has to do with activating our fullest potential. So when we talk about Thoth, for example, being the high priest that was physically present in Kem in ancient Egypt to teach about the magical mysteries, there is a lot of confusion again, because some people think Thoth is a physical being, but Thoth is also a cosmic being. So this is where we then want to be aware of the differences of talking about the cosmic aspect of Thoth and talking about Thoth, who was then physically present as a high priest to teach about the mysteries of how to connect with the cosmic energy of Thoth. And the cosmic energy of Thoth, that's the dragon. That's talking about communicating with the universe, communicating with the creative energy. Thoth is the deity that has been teaching the 7 Hermetic principles. Thoth is also Hermes, and Hermes is the deity of the messages, the messenger of the gods. So if we learn the magical mysteries of Thoth and of the giants, basically, we are learning how to communicate with our ancestors, and we are able to remember that cosmic aspect within ourselves. So it's really talking about the activation of our fullest potential and really getting to know ourselves at our core, basically. And with the 8 of Wands, this is very much talking about the next few years. I'm being made to feel that more and more of this information is going to come through. Like many people will start channeling about the star giants, about the history of Atlantis, because it is an evolutionary necessity to bring these teachings back and to bring this knowledge back. And all the beings who have been present in Atlantean times and all the star giants that were actually the gardeners of this planet, many of them are here in this earth plane right now to once again teach the ancient teachings, so that once again we as human beings can activate our fullest potential, activating our DNA, and to remember our star origins, to remember that we are the star giants. We, as our higher dimensional aspect, has basically been designing this matrix or designing this video game, and then it's almost like we have then incarnated into our avatar here on earth in order to play the game, in order to experience this game. But we are these star giants. We are these higher dimensional angelic star beings who have been designing this realm and creating, it's basically like designing a computer game. And then again, incarnating as the avatar to experience the game of life. And that's why when we are talking about our star ancestors, these are not aliens or like extraterrestrials. Like, they don't like to be called aliens because they are us, basically. Us in a higher dimension, or us in a future, or our higher self. Actually, that's an aspect of us looking down to us in a way. Like, it's really, when we learn about our star origins and about the story of Atlantis and the star giants, the frost giants, this really talks about activating the multidimensional awareness, because we are not only existing as human being in this realm here, but we exist with all these multidimensional aspects. And with the sacred mountain, it's very beautiful. This is coming through as the energy of Agartha. So all these giants that were present here on earth in ancient times, they are not gone, let's say. They haven't disappeared. They have just moved to a higher dimension. And this higher dimension that is still connected to the earth is actually the realm of inner earth. So all the Lemurians and the Atlanteans that have survived the flood, some of them have perished in the waves, and others, they have moved into a higher dimension. And again, this higher dimension is inner earth. And this is where we then talk about Shambhala. I'm also being taken to Mount Shasta, all these inner earth retreats like Agartha, inner earth, the realm of inner earth. This is the realm where all these wizards and magicians and star giants, they are still residing. And if we have activated our Kundalini, if we have activated our DNA, and if we have the multidimensional awareness, then we are able to communicate with these beings. And they will actually reach out to you. Yeah? Like if you have been one of these giants, then it's basically your family saying, hello, we're here, and they're reminding you of their presence, basically. And this is how I connected with these beings, because I'm pretty sure that I was one of these beings in ancient times, and right now they are making their presence known to me so that we can start to remember our star origins. And it's really talking about bringing heaven to earth with the depth of love. This is about actually inviting in all the fairies, all the nature spirits and all these beings, because all the stories of sirens and unicorns and the nature spirits, they come from times when we have had these activated, fully activated strands of DNA, like when we were able to tap into higher dimensions, when we were able to still perceive the star giants, still perceive the nature spirits. But then again, with the fall of Atlantis, this connection was almost severed. And right now we are living in times where slowly, the vibration is rising, the multidimensional awareness is rising, and as a result, we start to pick up on these beings again. Many people are connecting with fairies and they are able to perceive them. Other people again connect with inner earth beings or with star beings. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of channels who are communicating with these beings. And this is starting to be the norm for all of humanity. So the more people awaken, the more people remember our origin, the more we are allowing this collective consciousness to expand, and the more we are really, yes, with the Blu-ray being, it's talking about the truth of our being, like the true history of humanity. And we cannot hide the true history, because again, all this information is encoded in our DNA. It is encoded in our vessel, like we are the proof. If some people is like, if someone is saying like, where is the proof of all of that, or like, where do you find the evidence? We are the evidence. Our DNA is the evidence, because we just have to look at the information that is stored within our subconscious. Like, it's not a chance that so many people are talking about Atlantis. It's not by chance that so many people are picking up on the same things, because again, all of this is encoded in our DNA. And right now, the star giants, the frost giants, they are really coming back in order to help us again activate our DNA and reactivate this multidimensional awareness. And this is really what is helping us shift into the age of Aquarius. With the 10, it's the closing of a cycle, the closing of a major cycle. Because right now we are actually continuing where we left off in Atlantean times. Because in Atlantean times, our DNA was activated, we have had this multidimensional awareness, but in a world where the consciousness was deteriorating, where it was more and more moving into ego-based consciousness. And this is then what led to the downfall of Atlantis. Like, it was the experiment of Earth. Basically, they didn't know how it was going to turn out, but the story of Atlantis is where then humans were abusing their power. So that's why the reset had to happen. We had to go through this period of darkness to release all the karma and learn the lessons of separation consciousness, of ego consciousness. And right now we are slowly moving towards enlightened consciousness. We are moving towards the golden ages, where all the humans are enlightened and all the humans are again able to bring this magic back, to reactivate our DNA and to really get to know the true history of humanity. And this is the process that's happening. And that's why it's talking about the sacred mountain. The mountain is always talking about reaching a path of higher awareness, reaching spiritual enlightenment. Like, this is the journey of getting to know ourselves. And if we really want to get to know ourselves, we have to have the multidimensional awareness. So if you would like to learn more about how to communicate with our star ancestors, how to activate your DNA, then I'm inviting you to come to my weekly classes. So every Wednesday we are meeting up for an initiation where we are going to be talking about our subtle anatomy, about our spiritual anatomy, how to activate our light bodies and the chakras in order to be able to develop our channeling abilities and also to activate our DNA. And then on Sunday we are going to be practicing Kundalini yoga, which is then the physical practice of breath work and also light language, which then helps us, our body, prepare in order to be able to retrieve this information. So this was your message from the star giants. I really hope you resonated with the messages, and please let me know if you did. And I'm wishing you a beautiful time. Thanks so much for tuning in again, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye, much love.